Recording, mate.
Well, as we know, rugby league, the game never changes. Certainly generations pass, but this bloke is one of the most capped Dragons players of all time, and you know who it is, and one of the most winningest coaches and players, Norm Provan. Mate, great to have you here on Wendell's Wrap.
Thanks, Wendell. It's very good to be here.
Mate, how do you win 10 grand finals? Can I ask that? I mean, the Dragons took a long time, or St George Illawarra took a long time to win one, but they got their breakthrough. But to win 10 in a row, unbelievable, and I can't fathom it.
Well, it was done naturally. You only take it 1 year at a time, and we had good management, which I haven't mentioned. I've had a few interviews today, and I never brought it up because they never asked exactly that question. But the likes of our directors and selectors at St George during that era, that successful era, were vastly responsible, mainly responsible, by getting the right players together all at the one time. And when we needed a player, they'd go and buy a player and pluck him and put him in. And that's how we ended up with all, Raper and Langlands and so on. So the premierships came one after another. Nobody starts looking at 10 in a row. They're just looking at one and then another one and so on. And we had those directors and those selectors that knew what a footballer looked like. So we were lucky.
Well, I know you were lucky, 10 years, 10 premierships, and obviously you lost one, but the game's changing now. We see a lot of wrestling, a lot of grappling. For you, what's your take on it as an ex-coach and an ex-player, and obviously one of the legends of the game?
Well, I think most of that is due to the referee letting it happen. I don't know, I'm not a student of the local rules, but to have 3 and 4 people all over one person with the ball is just absolutely ridiculous. If they limited it to 2, the first man in underneath, the second one over the top, that's it. If anybody else goes in, penalty. Get on with the game. I think that's what we should do. I think we just have too much wrestling on the ground, and I've seen players walk for almost 10 metres with 3 fellas, nobody around their legs. I know I'm being critical like an old veteran that has never made a mistake. I made plenty of mistakes.
100%, yeah, we all have.
But that's a criticism I've got of this game. We just need to move the ball, play the ball quickly, get it going. Both sides do the same thing, so it's not being, it's not as if it's favouring any one side.
Oh, I've got to ask. We got some wonderful talent in the game. Jonathan Thurston. Obviously, we got young guys like Jack DeBellin. For you, who do you enjoy watching? Cameron Smith, Billy Slater. For a person like you, one of the legends. Paul Gallen, is another good player. For you, who do you sit down and like to enjoy?
Well, that when I get asked that question, it's like being asked, well, who's the best player?
Yeah.
I never answer it directly because you can't. I like watching all the good players, and sometimes the good players don't perform. The great players perform all the time. Good players, you can shut them down, and that's what they do occasionally. They shut them down, and that's the job of the referee. Shut them down.
Shut them down. Well, I'm going to ask you this. How are New South Wales going to beat Queensland this year in the Origin? And the second question I'll ask is, who should they pick? Who would you have on that side? Just one player that they need. Is it Gallen to turn the tables on Queensland? And, you haven't got what Queensland have got, but you've got to somehow try and beat them.
I don't think I'm qualified to answer that because I haven't been following it closely enough, and I'd be.
But you've won 10 in a row. Queensland have won 6 in a row. Surely, to keep winning, and you got knocked off at one stage. How did New South Wales beat Queensland other than score more points than them?
Well, they took Queenslanders back up against them. That's how. There wasn't any state of origin then, and we used to. The competition in Sydney was much more severe and better, hard competition than it was in Brisbane or Queensland. So the players that we took down there were the Queenslanders. They were honed into good footballers, and they went back up there to play against their teammates and so on. And that's how they won those games. The very first time they brought in State of Origin, we lost it.
Well.
They brought the big fella in, and he just killed us.
Well, mate, I'm going to leave you on this note. I know you don't pick favourites, but can I ask you, do you have a Dragons player that you enjoy watching on and off the field? Ben Hornby, Matt Cooper, anyone that you've enjoyed over the last 10, 15 years?
No.
It's a hard one, eh?
As long as I've got a red and white jumper on, and
the red V.
And the red V, and the sponsors aren't smothering it all. Yeah,
we need sponsors in the game, Norm. Come on.
Yes, of course we do.
Yeah.
We need sponsors, but they need to design it. Their jumpers a little bit better than that. We had the white jumper, long sleeves, red V, and a badge, and that's always been St George. Now they keep changing the jumpers, and it's like an old fella whinging, and that's what I'm doing. But
no, you're not whinging.
But I like. Yeah. I'm telling you what I like. Yeah. I know you've got to have the sponsors, so it doesn't matter what I like. I'll just have to say I've got to bear with it, haven't I?
Well, you do. Well, mate, thanks for joining us here, mate. There's legends in the game, such as yourself and Wayne Bennett. The game's better for it. You put so much into it, and, mate, for 80, you look unbelievable. So hopefully when I'm your age, I look as good as you.
Thanks, Wendell. Have a good day.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for joining us on Wendell's Wrap.